I think ever since Miles Morales' Spider-Man has been popularized with that of Into the Spider-Verse, his own comic run recently doing good, and as well his own video game, that people have been wondering, where is Miles Morales on the big screen or in live action? And I agree, I've been wondering the same thing. Like, I figured it's only a matter of time, right? And well, today we actually got our answer from an official source at Sony, so let's talk about that. As I just said, I think we have all figured it's a matter of time until Sony brings Miles Morales into live action on the big screen for the first time, and whether or not it's connected to the MCU, we have no clue about that as of right now. Speaking of the MCU, actually, fun fact, if you did happen to forget, No Way Home did actually reference Miles when Electro said,
"There's gotta be a black Spider-Man somewhere out there."
And we all knew he was talking about Miles, of course, which was a nice nod to him. And it's funny how apparently No Way Home will be connected to Across the Spider-Verse reportedly. That's what I've been hearing at least. Which reminds me, notice how I have not said to take this with a grain of salt, because this is actually coming from someone at Sony themselves. Amy Pascal, aka Spider-Man's main producer, did an interview with Empire Magazine, and she confirmed to them it's happening, they're actively working on it, but it's going to be a couple more years until this happens. And actually, during the premiere of No Way Home a while back, the voice actor for Miles Into the Spider-Verse said he would be interested, and he knows Sony is planning things. So let's break this down. Let's start with, where could we see Miles show up? Thinking about it, there's a few options. I was gonna say there was only two, but I think there's a few different ones. So we can see Miles possibly in Spider-Man 4 in the MCU. That's always a possibility. And we have previously talked about that in other videos. If you've kept up with my channel, or if you've heard it anywhere else at least, it's been talked about. Or you know what, maybe they could give him a solo movie in the MCU, but really depends again on how they plan to do Miles. Or he can show up in the Sonyverse for the time being and possibly cross over to the MCU in Secret Wars like he did in the comics, but only God can help us with that, I think, when it comes to Sony. Unless Sony and Marvel start playing ball with each other, but you know, who knows. But now there's a couple ways that they can make Miles happen. Obviously they can just do like the traditional cast an actor, start from scratch, or they can take Miles from Into the Spider-Verse trilogy and have him go from the animated side into the live action side and cast someone. In general, I'm not sure who I want casted for Miles, but I really like the look of the Insomniac Universe's Miles, so someone who looks similar to him would be great, but that's just my opinion. Or on the other hand, a possibility is the voice actor for Miles Into the Spider-Verse actually. I think his name is Shameik Moore, sorry if I butchered that, but I mean honestly, I don't really care too much how they do it, they just need to get Miles in live action. I just realized too, since Miles' origin is him essentially being a refugee from another multiverse, they could start him off in the Sonyverse as a solo movie, brand new actor, start from scratch, or the Spider-Verse movies and maybe Beyond the Spider-Verse, and bring him from either the Sonyverse or the Spider-Verse trilogy into live action, and then they would have double the MCU Spider-Man. And we all know Sony loves money, but as well, that's comic accurate and would more than likely make all the fans happy. I personally see that as like the best case scenario. Sony would get like the biggest W for that, but we can never be too optimistic when it comes to Sony.
If you expect disappointment, then you can never really get disappointed.
But this is super interesting overall because this actually isn't a rumor, as I said earlier, and it's coming from Amy Pascal, who, as again I mentioned earlier, is the main producer for Spider-Man in live action. And I believe a while ago she did previously say that Miles would take 5 to 6 years, so now she's saying like a couple of years away. And if anyone would know, it's definitely her, because like she's literally a part of the license basically. So now I'm gonna pass it on to you guys. What do you guys think of Miles eventually coming to live action, being confirmed by an actual official Sony source? Make sure you comment your opinion down below so I can discuss that with you. With that being said, thank you for taking time out of your day to click on this video. If you are new to the channel, I cover Spider-Man related scoops, rumors, leaks, confirmations for the games, TV shows, and movies like this video, and some selective MCU, SSU, and DCU news as well. And I try to upload as much as I can, so if any of that interests you, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 1K legends. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys want more of this type of content. Don't forget to check out my latest video on the left if you haven't already. Hope you have or had a good day and that you enjoyed the video. Until next time.